Hello, welcome to the next Top Tips video. This one's about models of care. So I can't tell you the amount of times as an inspector I would go into a children's home to be greeted by a manager who would proudly hand me their statement of purpose describing a trauma-informed, attachment-based therapeutic model of care. Sounds very impressive. Then I'd go out onto the floor, speak to a member of staff and ask a simple question. I'd say, tell me about your model of care and tell me what it looks like on a Tuesday afternoon when a child comes home angry from school and starts slamming the doors. Often that was met with a bit of silence or some sort of vague answer about building relationships, really, which showed that the model existed on paper, but it didn't really exist in the home. So today I want to talk a little bit about models of care, what the common ones are, what the official guidance actually says, and most importantly, the trap that I want you as a new provider to avoid. Because a model of care that looks good on paper but isn't embedded in practice, it's not just a missed opportunity, it's one of the fastest ways really to undermine your credibility with Ofsted. So I'll give you just 3 sources of official guidance which has helped me form my opinion. First of all, the NICE guidelines on looked after children and young people. It's called NG 205, and it calls for therapeutic, trauma-informed caregiving, understanding behaviour as communication, recognising and processing trauma triggers, and understanding attachment and loss. Secondly, I want to talk about the Ofsted Social Care Common Inspection Framework, or SCIF, which talks a bit about how inspectors grade your overall service, including the models of care. There's no judgment for best theoretical framework. What inspectors evaluate is the experiences of children and whether your approach, which is set out in your statement of purpose, is understood by your staff and visible in the care of children. Your model of care is a promise. Your inspection is supposed to test whether you're actually keeping that promise. Thirdly, there's the Social Care Institute of Excellence evaluation of therapeutic approaches in residential childcare. It's called Report 58, I think. They studied several different therapeutic models that had been introduced across children's homes. And really, there's one finding that I want you to single out, really. And it really says that no single model is better than the others. What makes the difference is whether staff are given a coherent framework and the tools to use it, and that the organisation supported it. So read those 3 together, and the message is pretty much unmistakable in my view. It's not about the label, it's about coherence, embedding and evidencing in daily practice. So you'll come across a number of different models. We'll do a quick tour now. There will be others, I'm sure, but these are the ones that I think are most commonly used across the sector. So hopefully you'll have an understanding of the landscape before you choose your approach. So trauma-informed care. It's not really a single model. It's more of a sort of foundational lens, really, recognising that most children in residential care have experienced trauma and that behaviour is communication. It's a response to that trauma, not a defiance to be punished. So then there's attachment theory, which is often the bedrock of a lot of other approaches, really. Children who've experienced disrupted or harmful early relationships need consistent, predictable, and emotionally available adults to build trust and security. Next, I want to talk about PACE and the didactic developmental practice, which is often called the Dan Hughes approach. Playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, and empathy. It's a practical stance, really, for adults that helps children feel safe, safe enough to connect. It's very widely used in children's homes. But I would like to offer a note of caution about PACE, because it's really quite a good example, in my opinion, of the label trap. So the thing I want to make clear here is that not all PACE training is the same. DDP PACE training is delivered by a trainer who's been approved by DDP, whose work is supervised by a DDP consultant or trainer to ensure quality and fidelity, really, and whose training meets the requirements to be recognised and certified as DDP PACE training, which is fully grounded in the dyadic developmental psychotherapy model. Then there's generic PACE training, And there's plenty of that on the market, and it's often delivered by brilliant, experienced trainers who use PACE in their own work and who can be genuinely valuable. But it isn't approved, supervised, or certified by DDP. I'm not saying either is wrong. The point is, know which one you're buying and be honest about it in your statement of purpose. If your statement of purpose claims your home is grounded in DDP, expect an inspector to ask about the fidelity of your training. Don't describe the certified version if you've bought the generic one. So, therapeutic parenting. This translates attachment and trauma therapy into everyday caregiving with high nurture structured with high nurture combined with high structure. Connection before correction. Social pedagogy is a European tradition, really focused on the whole child, head, heart, and hands. It's learning relationships and shared everyday activities as the vehicle for development, really. Then there's restorative practice, which focuses on repairing harm and rebuilding relationships after conflict. Rather than relying on sanctions, it's often used alongside some of the models that I've just spoken about. You also may come across the secure base model, sanctuary model, therapeutic communities, many others, all of which are legitimate. And that's really the point. The point is, in line with the Social Care Institute for Excellence finding, which is that there is not a winner to be crowned. The question isn't which model is best for you, it's which model fits the children you intend to care for, and can you genuinely deliver it? So, my top tips. Choose for fit, not fashion. Your model really has to match the needs of children in your statement of purpose. If you're caring for children with complex trauma, your model really needs to speak directly to that. Don't pick a model just because it sounds impressive to commissioners. I'd say my second top tip is beware of the Frankenstein model. I have seen statements of purpose that piece together 4, maybe 5 different frameworks. A little bit of PACE, a bit of social pedagogy, a bit of restorative practice, which is fine, but there's no explanation of how they connect. And it doesn't really come across as a cohesive model of care. It's more a reading list. So coherence beats quantity, I would say, every day. My third tip really is absolutely crucial, which is this. If your staff can't explain it, then you don't have one. This is the test that inspectors could use, or should use, in my opinion, and certainly I used it, and it should be yours too. Every member of the team, from your longest serving to your newest recruit, including your waking night staff, should be able to describe the model you use in plain English and give you an example of how they use it in their work. Fourth tip really is that whatever model of care you have, it has to be embedded everywhere. It has to be visible in your recruitment questions, your induction, your training plan, your supervision records, your appraisal forms, care plans, risk assessments. Your daily logs need to reflect your model of care, as well as your responses to incidents and oversight and learning. So if a child's records read the same as they would in a home with a completely different model, it's not embedded really. So last top tip really is to evidence it through the child's experience, their progress, their stability, relationships, number of incidents being reduced or handled better over time. That's what inspectors are going to want to see under the SCIF, the difference that your approach makes, not the elegance of your theory. So if you can take away one thing really, it's this. There's no magic model. There's no label that impresses an inspector unless it's matched by a coherent approach chosen for your children and understood by your team. It needs to be embedded in every system that you run, and really crucially, it needs to be evidenced in the daily lived experience of the children that you look after. So get that right, and your model of care stops being a paragraph and becomes the reason children thrive in your home. So my name's Jolyon. I'm from Elevate Care Insights. If you found this useful, the full module goes much deeper into how to select and implement and evidence your model of care. But I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.